All right. Wait. We get it. A good distance. Okay. So it's been probably like months since I last picked up the camera. I'm not gonna lie. It is currently 6:07, December 29th. But yeah, anyways, we are going to Las Vegas for the New Year's. We're here sitting at the terminal. Yeah. And if you can't already tell, I got the Meta glasses.
Thank you.
But yeah, I will see you guys in Las Vegas.
Where did you learn what it means to reciprocate? And how much can I be expected to tolerate? So I started to think about the plans I made the day unpaid, and you just can't call a spade a spade. I watched the moon, let it run my mood. Can't stop thinking of you.
This train is going to Terminal 3 for baggage claim.
All right, so it is now the next day. We are in Las Vegas. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't record at all yesterday except for the airport, but that is because I've been getting some footage with my glasses, with my Meta glasses. Bro, these are actually so cool. These are probably like my second best purchase behind this camera. Like, it's actually so cool. I just uploaded like a little shorts, like a real TikTok type of thing on my TikTok and my Instagram. So I encourage you to follow that out because I am planning on posting on these way more often than this YouTube with my vlog, just because it's a lot easier to edit a 60-second TikTok than it is to edit like a full-length vlog. So I'm gonna try and be more consistent with these. Just like record POVs, day in the lives type of thing. I don't know when the next time I'll pick up the camera is, or in terms of for the vlog, because I'm gonna be vlogging on this mostly. But yeah, so check out my TikTok, check out my Instagram. I'm gonna be more active with this. One more minute. All right, so we are now at Aria Casino. We just ate dinner with some of my family. Just finished having dinner at the infamous
Where'd you put it in the car in the back?
Din Tai Fung. No. All right, so I have to make some sort of an apology just because of the fact that I've literally not picked up my phone, or not my phone, but I've literally not picked up the camera basically at all this trip. It is the 4th of January. It's the 4th day of 2026, the new year, and I basically like didn't vlog damn near anything. I just never brought my camera anywhere just because like I just didn't know what to film, and it just, I don't know. Plus I had like my Meta glasses already, so it was kind of weird. I guess I just kind of put short form content over my long form content just for now, just because I really wanted to kind of get the gist of making short form, just because I do have some plans on what I want to do with that in the future. Maybe do some sort of like UGC type of content with it. I feel like that will be perfect with the Meta glasses and the type of content that I have in mind. But I do kind of regret not bringing my camera more and not filming more, even if it was just like some sort of B-roll. Like I feel like I could have recorded a lot of B-roll, a lot of just some like cinematic shots of the strip or something like that, or restaurants that we went to. And I guess that's something that I want to just get better at, to just bring my camera more and actually filming something, even if it's not planned, right? Because I think one of the biggest problems I had in 2025 last year was that I tried to make every video quote unquote as perfect as possible. I just thought that if I spent more time on a video, then the higher quality and the more better that the video would be, and the better that it would perform, or at least that's what I thought in my head. But now that I think about it, like I just went on a walk, like a little 40-minute walk this morning, and I was just thinking about like, damn, I literally never picked up the camera. I haven't uploaded a video in like 2-3 months. Even though a lot has happened, I've been through a lot of experiences, like going out with friends and like just a bunch of other things that would have made some pretty good content to film, and I just didn't do it. And that's just because like I just overthought the entire process. I feel like just trying to make every video as perfect as possible, even if they're not perfect. Like, let's be honest, like my previous videos, I don't think they're like super good. I mean, obviously there's a reason why they kind of flop. But well, I feel like my videos are actually like somewhat decent. Like I feel like they're actually pretty good compared to other vlogs, but yeah, I guess there is a reason that they don't really perform very well. But honestly, I don't really care about that either. I am literally just doing this just for the love of the game, just because I want to have like an archive of my life where I could just go back to this certain date and see what I was doing. And I think that would be cool. Like I don't really care if my videos get low views or something like that, but it does still kind of hurt, I guess, to see this video that I worked so hard on get like 10 views. But at this stage of my life, like I'm not really doing it for virality, although there is a point to where I want to get to that level, but just not right now. I feel like it would be better to just kind of get consistent, get into a groove, and actually get comfortable with making videos and filming regularly on a daily basis, even if it's nothing. Like right here, I'm just in my room, in my grandparents' house. Like I literally have my own room in my grandparents' house, and I'm literally here for just like winter breaks, summer breaks. Like I'm here for probably like the length of half a month or like a month every single year, and and yet I have my own room, which is kind of cool. But anyways, and I think another reason why I just never filmed that much in 2025 is just because like I guess as much as I don't want to admit it, like judgment of other people, judgment from my friends, judgment from random strangers out in public, I just always felt weird just bringing my camera to every single hangout. And I feel like that kind of, not in the sense of where my friends didn't like it, but I feel like I was just being a little bit annoying because I would just always hold the camera to them, if that makes sense. And like I do want to respect that other people don't really have that sort of camera confidence. I mean, I don't really have camera confidence. I'm just doing it just because I know that I have to eventually become confident on camera. But I do know that my friends aren't really like that, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I've never really had that conversation with them, but I'm just assuming because I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to be someone who's always constantly putting the camera at your face. It's just, I don't know. It just feels like it messes up the vibe a little bit just because I'm always trying to capture something. Like I really don't know how to explain it. It just feels unauthentic to always be carrying a camera everywhere. And just being like, for me, because I can't really be in the moment when I'm out with my friends. I'm always trying to capture something, and it does feel kind of weird. But I guess that's something that just gets better with time, so I just have to keep on doing it. But yeah, I think going into 2026, I want to actually improve on my consistency with my camera and content. That's probably my biggest goal, I'd say. especially between this Q1. I think my Q1 goals, I wrote them down actually, but my Q1 goals are to be consistent with content, be consistent in training and in the gym, and be consistent with keeping good grades. That's my 3 main pillars for Q1. So we have content, fitness, and school. That's my 3 main pillars for Q1. The 3 things that I want to focus on. And I guess might as well, I could just talk about it a little bit. Let's just put my camera in a different location, just make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I think going into 2026, let's see. All right, so let's just talk about my goals for a bit so I could kind of come back to this at the end of Q1, March 31st, right? Is the end of Q1? Yeah. And actually see if I accomplished it. So we have, wait, actually I have a notebook. Ow. But yeah, anyways. So, Q1 goals. Okay, so a couple days ago I did a little journaling session just about my little review on 2025 and what I plan on doing better in 2026. So, what I wrote for my 2025 review is that I'd say my biggest problem in 2025, especially in Q4, was that I always had intentions for big goals, but not the consistency to accomplish them. And moving into Q1 of 2026, I want to make this the season of consistency, where my focus isn't solely results, but rather staying consistent in the methods, actions, and systems that get me the results. So being consistent in training, being consistent in my diet, being consistent in self-care, being consistent in grades, and being consistent in content. And I just really want to focus on being consistent in the things that actually get me results and the things that will actually get me closer to my personal goals. And so for that, I broke it down into 3 main goals, the 3 main pillars that I talked about earlier. And that is physique progress. So by the end of Q1, my main goals, I guess, is to just have some sort of noticeable muscle gains, especially within the arms and shoulders, because I'm a pretty like skinny, lengthy guy, so it really shows my skinny limbs because I'm a pretty lengthy person. But I also want to have some sort of strength increases in 3 to 5 core lifts. What that basically means is that I really just want to focus on my strength within certain exercises. So I think the ones that I have in mind are dips, pull-ups, push-up variations, and then I guess maybe bench and squat. So those are my 5 exercises that I would want to focus on and just get substantially stronger in them. And then for metrics, the things that I want to measure is obviously gym at least 4 times a week minimum. And then I also want to try and eat my goal body weight in protein. So right now I think my goal body weight maybe 150 I guess. That's not bad. So I'm gonna try and eat that in protein, because right now I'm 130 morning weight without water weight. I'd say maybe 135, 136. I think right now I'm sitting at 137. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and eat more. That's also one thing. I have to eat more and have to eat a little bit healthier. I feel like I've been relatively good on my diet, but I do have some times when I overindulge in something. So I just have to get better at that. And then drinking 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. That has been super hard. I've been trying to do that for so long, but I just keep forgetting and I keep just slacking. So I just have to lock in on that. And then my second is academic success. So by the end of Q1, I want all A's. I keep thinking to just make it A's and B's, but then I feel like I really need the A. Just for a better GPA for when I do transfer out of community to, my goal is UC San Diego. So I just feel like having those high GPA and all A's would be substantially more beneficial, especially because last semester I fucked around a bit and I got a C in chem. And in my public speaking, oh my gosh, I literally forgot to submit one of my finals. So for what would have been like the freest like 98% ever, it really dropped to an 89. I mean, like, I still have a B, but still, bro, that's really the easiest class ever, and I didn't. I just forgot to submit the final. Like, I was so focused on my chem final that I completely overlooked my finals for my other classes. And I'm so mad about that. Like, this is a perfect example of some of the things that I missed because I just never picked up the camera to film. Like, I missed some stupid stuff like this just because I didn't film. But yeah, anyways, so my goal is to just get all A's, just because if I make it all A's and maybe B's, then I'm just gonna settle for a B. But if I just set the goal of all A's, then it just pushes me to always, or like to make an A the bottom line. And that's what I want to aim for, just because I fucked around too much. But yeah. And also by the end of Q1, I want to eliminate cramming and trying to study last minute, because that's something I did a lot last semester. And that is really just because of the fact that I thought I just didn't take CC seriously, if that makes sense, because I just had this idea that it would be quote unquote easier, or like a little bit less serious, so I didn't really pay attention in class, and that gave me a reality check when I got my first exam back. But yeah, I do now understand that just because it's CC and not an actual 4-year, I should still take it seriously, especially if I want to eventually transfer to a 4-year. And this also goes back to what I was talking about earlier about trying to make every video perfect. Like, I spent most of my time editing videos, like just spending an absurd amount of time editing instead of actually focusing on school. And that's something that I want to kind of revamp my, what's the word? Just like make a entire rework of my system of how I kind of manage everything. So instead of trying to edit videos to like 100% completion or perfection, I'm gonna aim for like 80% completion, because I want to be able to pump out videos more. And I think in this sense, quantity leads to quality. So I just want to keep on posting videos, even if a video isn't super done, like doesn't have a lot of effects, doesn't have some polished text. I just want to get a video out just so I could move on to something else and apply the lessons I learned from that previous experience to my next one and make that one better. And so yeah, that was just a little side ramble, but yeah. And then the last thing that I want to do, or the two last things that I want to do in terms of my academic goals, is no more phone during class, because that's another thing that I did a lot, just because, again, I didn't really take CC seriously. I was just always on my phone. I was always playing Clash Royale. I was always doom scrolling. So no more phone next semester. And then I also want to turn in assignments as soon as possible. So as soon as they're assigned, I just want to try and get as much assignments done as possible. That's something I did very well last semester, was that I was on top of my work, except for that one final. But yeah, just always try to turn in assignments as early as possible. Like, it literally makes life so much more easier. And then my third goal is the content goal, is just content consistency. And so by March 31st, 2026, I want to be able to have said that I have posted Alright, so by March 31st, 2026, I want to have posted consistently for 12 weeks straight, so at least one video a week. At least one video every 1 to 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, okay. And then I also broke it down into like my daily non-negotiable tasks, and that is 1, training, even if it's something small, like on a rest day I go on a walk or just do some stretching, just at least do some sort of movement And my second is to do 1 to 2 hours of deep work every single day, whether it just be for content or for school. And then third is just post or prep content. Just do some sort of planning for long form content, filming something for short form. Like I just want to get consistent in these things. And so with that, that kind of concludes this little conversation.